There are only a few things I do focus on if I was starting content today, and most brand owners are doing the total opposite. There is so much advice out there about content creation. Everywhere you turn, someone is telling you to post daily, stay consistent, be on all platforms, jump on trends, use trending sounds, trending formats, trending tools. And honestly, these are not bad advice. They are just not made for everyone. Most of these advices are not made for business owners, especially small business owners. As business owners, we're dealing with a lot more than just content. You are running your business, you're doing the work of multiple people at once: operation, customer service, product development, marketing, finances. And then on top of all that, you're expected to show up online and create content consistently. Some of us are also working a 9-to-5, raising children, managing family life, health, relationships, and personal growth. There is a lot happening behind the scenes. So when the only advice you hear is post every day or just be consistent, it starts to feel like too much. Not because you're a lazy or undisciplined person, but because the advice does not fit your reality. We actually need more content advice from people who are building real brands, e-commerce founders, product-based business owners, people who understand what it means to juggle everything at once. But the truth is, most business owners are already stretched thin. They don't have the capacity to constantly teach content creation. So what happens? We end up relying on advice from content creators who are not living the same experience as us. And again, this is not to discredit them. Their advice works for their situation, but this video is not about doing more. It's about doing what actually makes sense for business owners. My name is Aisha, and I help overwhelmed businesswomen create premium content without showing up, in a way that saves time, energy, and mental space. I'm also a brand owner myself. I own a bag and accessories brand, and I've struggled deeply with content creation. I had a new baby, a lot happening in my life, and I felt constantly overwhelmed. I was trying to follow advice that did not fit my life, and it also broke me mentally. So I started searching for answers, building systems, and asking myself what actually works for someone like me. Someone with a business, a baby, responsibilities, and limited energy. And the moment I stopped forcing myself to follow advice that didn't fit my shoes, everything started to change. Content became lighter, I showed up more calmly, my mental space improved, and now I make it a priority to share these lessons with other brand owners who are silently struggling. Now, let's talk about what most brand owners focus on and why it's draining you. Most brand owners focus on posting daily or multiple times a day. They spend hours looking for trends, trending sounds, trending formats. They try to film everything. Filming alone takes time, energy, planning, setup, lighting, confidence, and mental preparation. You are one person trying to do the work of many. This leads to endless scrolling, hunting for the next big idea, saving posts, overthinking, stressing your brain before you even start creating. Your mind is already tired before the work begins. This creates mental fatigue, which then turns into physical fatigue and eventually burnout. This is how many business owners end up quitting content altogether or post inconsistently, not because they don't care, but because they're exhausted. And I want you to hear this clearly. This is not your fault. You are only doing what you've been taught to do. Most advice assumes you have time, energy, and a team, but that is not the reality for many business owners. So if I was starting content today as a business owner, here is what I would actually focus on. The first thing is direction. Before creating any content, I would focus on content direction. This is what big brands do first. They don't just pick up a camera and start filming. There is a plan, a vision, and a clear idea of what the content should communicate and how it should feel. Content direction means having clarity about your brand, what your brand stands for, what you want people to feel when they see your content, what message you're trying to communicate. When you have direction, everything becomes easier. You're no longer guessing, you're no longer creating content randomly. Premium content starts with clarity, consistency, and intention, not expensive cameras or studios. When direction is clear, content stops feeling stressful. The second thing I would focus on is inspiration, but without scrolling my life away. And this part is very important because this is where a lot of business owners waste so much time and mental energy without even realizing it. Scrolling is not the real problem. The real problem is lack of direction when scrolling. When you don't know where you're going with your content, scrolling becomes very draining. You can scroll for 1, 2, or even 3 hours and still come out confused. You end up seeing so many ideas, so many styles, so many ways people are creating content, and instead of feeling inspired, you feel overwhelmed. Your brain is full, but nothing is clear. If you already know what your brand is about, what you want your content to communicate, and what you want people to feel when they see your brand, then scrolling becomes a tool, not a trap. But when you don't have that clarity, scrolling becomes a distraction. So if I was starting content today, I wouldn't tell myself to stop scrolling completely. I will tell myself to scroll with purpose. And what does that mean? It means I'm not scrolling everywhere, I'm not scrolling random pages, and I'm not scrolling influencers that are not relevant to my brand. I am not scrolling just because their content looks nice. I would focus on competitors, focus on brands that share the same target audience as me, and I would focus on people who are selling to the same type of customers I want to attract. Because if my audience likes these brands, if they engage with their content, if they buy from them, then there is something there for me to learn, not to copy but to understand. When I'm scrolling competitors or similar brands, I'm not looking to copy their exact content. I'm looking for patterns. I'm looking at the type of visuals they use, the type of mood their content has, the kind of messages they repeat, the way they show their products, the way they speak to their audience. And once I find a direction that makes sense for my brand, I stop scrolling. This part is very important. A lot of people keep scrolling even after they've already seen what they need. You find one good idea, one good direction, but you keep scrolling because you think something better might come up, and before you know it, you're overwhelmed again. So I always say this: once you find inspiration, stop. You don't need 10 ideas for one content. You don't need 20 examples. You just need one clear direction. Inspiration is not meant to be a research project. It's meant to help you decide. Once it has helped you decide, it has done its job. And another thing people get wrong is trying to take inspiration from brands that are completely different from them. Different audience, different positioning, different goals. Just because you're selling the same type of product doesn't mean they are your competitors. One brand might be very aesthetic-led, another might be very story-led, another might be very founder-led, another might be very product-focused. A brand might be selling the same product but targeting Gen Zs, while another brand selling the same product is targeting millennials. They are not your competitors. If you don't understand where your brand sits, you will keep copying things that don't fit you, and that will make content creation harder for you. So inspiration should support your brand direction and not confuse it. When you already know why you're creating a piece of content, whether it's to build trust, educate your audience, connect emotionally, or sell, inspiration becomes much easier. You are no longer creating content for vibes. You're creating content with intention. And when inspiration is used this way, it saves you time, it saves you energy, and it protects your mental space. That is why I always say inspiration should help you decide and not to distract you. The third thing I will focus on is structure and not motivation. And this part is very important because this is where a lot of business owners get stuck without even realizing it. Motivation comes and goes. That is just the truth. You're not going to feel motivated every day. Some days you will wake up tired, some days your mind will be full, some days life will happen. And if your content creation depends on you feeling motivated all the time, then content will always feel inconsistent and stressful. A lot of people wait until they feel inspired before they create content. But as a business owner, you don't always have that luxury. You can't wait for the perfect mood, the perfect energy, or the perfect moment. That is why structure is more important than motivation. Structure stays. Structure carries you on the days you don't feel like doing anything. Structure is what allows you to show up even when you're tired, busy, or overwhelmed. When I say structure, I don't mean complicated systems. I don't mean fancy dashboards or tools that require you to sit down, open your laptop, log into 5 different platforms and start organizing things. For most small business owners, that kind of setup already feels exhausting before you even begin. Structure should make things easier and not harder. Structure means having a simple way of deciding what to post without even thinking too much. It means having content pillars that are already clear to you, so you're not starting from zero every single time. It means having formats you can repeat instead of reinventing the wheel every day. Now, if you're thinking, I don't even know where to start with my content or how to create content pillars, I created something for you. I have a free content reset blueprint that helps you slow down, clear the noise, and reset your content properly. Inside it, I walk you through how to create simple content pillars so you're not guessing what to post every single time or starting from zero again and again. It's for those moments when content feels overwhelming and you just need clarity before you create anything. You can download it using the link below and take your time with it. So when your structure is clear, your brain doesn't have to work so hard. You're not asking yourself 20 questions before creating content. You already know, this is the type of content I'm creating today. That alone reduces so much mental stress. Another part of structure is flexibility. Your system should work for you on good days and bad days. It should work when you're energetic and when you're tired. It should work when you're at home, when you're at work, when you're on your bed, or when you only have 10 minutes to spare. This is why I always say, keep things simple and accessible. If your content system only works when you're fully prepared, fully focused, and sitting at your desk, that is not realistic. Most business owners don't live like that. Life is messy, days are unpredictable. You need a system that fits into your real life. For example, your content ideas should be somewhere you can easily access on your phone. It could be a simple note, a Google Doc, something basic, something you don't have to think twice about opening. If you have to mentally prepare yourself just to access your system, your brain will resist it. The same goes for tools. If a tool feels too heavy, too technical, or too time-consuming, you're less likely to use it consistently. You don't need the most advanced tool in the world. You need tools that help you move faster and think less. Structure is about reducing decision. Decision fatigue is real. As a business owner, you're already making decisions all day long. What to do next, what problem to solve, what message to answer, what needs attention. Adding more decisions on top of that, especially for content, is what drains you. When your structure is clear, you remove unnecessary decisions. You're not deciding what to post from scratch. You're choosing from what already exists, and that small shift makes content feel lighter. This is why I always say, don't rely on motivation. Build a structure that supports you. Motivation will come when it comes, but structure will always be there to carry you through. When you have structure, content stops feeling chaotic. It starts to feel manageable, and once content feels manageable, you can create more without burning out. If this masterclass has been valuable to you so far, kindly click on the subscribe button and support your girl. And finally, if I was starting content today as a business owner, I would use AI as support and not pressure. Now, here is a sample content of what AI can create for you. is not here to take over your creativity. It is not here to make you feel like you must now learn another complicated thing. AI is here to support you. AI is the team you don't have. And this is very important for business owners to understand, because most of us are doing the work of so many people at once. We're the creative director, the content creator, the editor, the marketer, the strategist, and sometimes even the model. That is too much for one person, especially when you're also running a business and living a full life. AI works best when you already have direction. This is why I keep saying direction first. Without direction, AI can feel confusing, it can feel noisy, it can even feel overwhelming. You will see so many people online saying, use this tool, use that tool, and it just adds more stress to your brain. But when you already know what you want your content to feel like, what you want it to communicate, and what you want your brand to stand for, AI becomes very easy and calm to use. For me personally, AI changed everything. AI helped me create premium content without filming, and that alone was a huge relief for me, because filming takes time, energy, preparation, and confidence. There were days where I wanted to create content but I was tired. There were days where I had ideas in my head but I did not have the strength to set up a camera, fix my space, or show up on screen. But with AI, I was able to create content from my bed, on my laptop, and on my phone. I could create content even when I was tired, even when I didn't feel like myself, and even when life was happening, and the content still looked premium. AI gave me my time back, my energy, it gave me my mental space back. And because of that, it gave me my creativity back. Before AI, my creativity was buried under stress. I had ideas, but I couldn't bring them to life. I had visions for my brand, but I didn't even have the money, the team, or the time to execute them. So those ideas just stayed in my head, and that was painful, because you know what you want to do, but you feel blocked. AI removed that block for me. Now, let me say something important here. Big brands are already using AI. They are using it quietly, they are using it behind the scenes. They are using it in ways that looks very real, very polished, and very expensive. You probably have already seen AI generated content from big brands and you didn't even know it was AI. That is how good it has become. So if you think AI is fake or cheap or not premium, that is not true. AI is only as good as the direction behind it. When someone does not have creative direction, the AI output looks random or messy. But when someone understands branding, storytelling, and intention, the AI output looks premium. And AI allowed me to show up more humanly. I know that might sound strange, but it's true. Because AI took away the heavy lifting, I had more space to be present and feel myself whenever I want to. I had more energy to talk to my audience, more capacity to show up for myself. I was no longer forcing myself to do everything manually just to prove something. So those complicated content, or the ones that just feel heavy for me and drains my energy, I just use AI to sort it out. So in that way, I have more mental space to do whatever I want to do. AI is the assistant that will help you breathe again. And because of that, I now create content from a place of calm and not pressure. I create content because I want to, and not because I feel trapped by consistency rules or algorithm fear. This is why I believe so strongly that business owners should use AI, not to do more, but to do less better, to protect your mental health and creativity. So if I was starting content today, I would not ignore AI, but I also would not let AI overwhelm me. I would use it intentionally as support after I have clarity and direction. Because when AI is used the right way, it doesn't take from you, it gives back to you. So because of all of this, I'm currently working on a short course for business owners who feel overwhelmed with content creation. It's for people who want to create premium content without filming, especially on days when they are tired or don't have the energy to show up on camera. inside the course, I'm breaking down how I personally use AI to create high quality reels in a very simple, calm way, without overthinking, without long setups, and without needing a team. It is not about doing more, it's about getting your time and mental space back while still showing up for your business. I'll share more about it soon, but for now, I just want you to understand that there is a simpler way to do this. If you have other things you want me to talk about, content creation, productivity, and all, just put it down in the comment section and I'll make a video on it. So let's put everything together. Get direction first, scroll strategically, build simple structures, use AI as support, keep everything simple. If content feels heavy right now for you, don't forget to download the free content reset blueprint to help you slow down, reset, and gain clarity. It helps you define content pillars and stop starting from zero every time. You can download it in the link below. And that's it on today's master class. Remember, you're not behind. Content does not have to be hard. You just need a way that fits your life. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.